In this video, Goldman Sachs CEO David Solomon addresses the increasing market uncertainties amid shifts in trade policies under the new administration. Although he viewed the delay in implementing reciprocal tariffs as potentially beneficial, David stressed that such delay has not reduced business uncertainties, leading to more caution capital spending and heightened market volatility.
Administration are engaged with the business community. That's constructive. There are certain things that have been put forward from a policy perspective that that don't feel in line with the expectation people had. But obviously, we'll have to watch and see how the policy is implemented. Watch and see how some of the stuff with the FTC plays out. But it's early days, and certainly it's hard to know exactly where that lands. I don't really think about administrations as being business friendly or not business friendly. Ultimately, the economy, growth, and investment needs interaction between government and business. It's very, very important for economic growth, broadly. And so, hopefully that'll continue to be very constructive.
Joe?
Yeah, David, I just trying to figure out how to phrase this because I certainly don't want to be Pollyannish or cheerlead anyone who's close to retirement. This is gut wrenching, obviously, when you have close to a bear market in some of the major averages, and actually do have one in some of them. But is there, in your view, is there a half full way to view any of this? I mean, the market, would you say this? I mean, 7 stocks led that market up 20% 2 straight years to highs. I don't know whether any of this was destined to happen anyway. We need corrections occasionally. Is any of it cathartic? And if we do, maybe not go scorched earth on tariffs, but if we go selectively and get some deals done, is it possible we're in a good place a year from now? Because there's so much pessimism now. People are writing off the next 4 years before that we're done with the first 100 days in terms of the economic record. Are you optimistic at all?
I'm definitely optimistic when you step back and you take a broader view, Joe, because I continue to have enormous confidence in the U.S., the innovation in our economy, the forward on technology. When I look at what's going on with AI and the ability to deploy it in the enterprise and create massive productivity, across business broadly, massive productivity in our economy. When I look at the impacts that it can have around healthcare and health and wellness, these benefits, these are things to be enormously excited about. And so we had an extraordinary equity market, and as you point out, 7 stocks led the way. It's not surprising that something has rebalanced that. I did not necessarily expect it to be this in the form that it is, but certainly, and we did talk about this when we were in Davos, we talked about the robustness of the equity markets. And, it's interesting to go back and kind of look at a basket of stocks and where they were 12 months ago. Obviously, the Magnificent Seven and that NASDAQ-led rally has certainly, had a dramatic move. Right. But at the same point, there are lots of companies and stocks are up, versus where they were.
Goldman Sachs is up about 85% from a year ago.
A year ago. So, all this has to be put in perspective. Right. I think the level of uncertainty is too high. Okay, it's not productive, and it's important that we have a clear understanding of the direction of travel as soon as we can, so that businesses can plan, make investments, continue to help drive our economy forward. And
have
also
you heard any CEOs, David, say? I mean, this is what we're hearing, that they had the rug pulled out from under them, and I mean, I think it's implied they'd actually go back if they voted for Trump and want to change their vote to Kamala Harris. Do you know any CEOs that say they miss the Biden administration in terms of their approach to business?
I think, Joe, what I'm hearing from CEOs, from clients that I'm talking to, is they want to understand, they want to have more certainty with respect to what the policy is going to look like, where it's going to land, what deals are going to look like, so they understand the lay of the road, the lay of the land, and they can make adjustments if necessary in the way they run their businesses. You can't change these things. When you look at supply chains, when you look at where things are made, when you look at how these supply chains work, you can't change them in 5 minutes or 5 months.
There was a question in there, David. You asked Andrew if there actually was a question in there, but you didn't answer the question. Are there a lot of CEOs saying, God, I sure wish I voted for Kamala, or I wish it was the Biden administration policies on business? Are we there yet? I don't think we're there
Joe,
yet.
when I'm talking to CEOs, we're talking about policy, we're talking about investment, we're not talking about people's election preferences.
All right. I'm not. This is, you're not just worried about saying the wrong thing and incurring the wrath of President Trump at this point, are you, David?
No, I think I've been clear. We need a higher level. We need a higher level of policy uncertainty. This level of uncertainty is not good. It's not healthy, and it's affecting investment, spending, and planning, and that will have an effect on growth in the economy. And we will see that, in my opinion, relatively quickly if we can't get to a higher level of certainty around this trade policy.